So I'm Anna Kate. I have been in fitness my whole life, but I've been coaching for about 8 years now. Started with in-person training. I still do in-person training here in Wichita, but just limited hours. And I'm trying to focus more on building the online brand. So I started this online brand about 6 years ago, and it's just grown like crazy since then. I got to the point where I was too busy to do it all myself. So then I started interviewing other trainers and dietitians, Becky, and we've created this really awesome team of people who have been able to help people with our expertise and knowledge base and passion for it, which has been huge for this. So Becky is unable to speak because her microphone is not working, so I'll introduce her. She lives in New York. She's a registered dietitian. She works in a clinical hospital setting during the day and then does coaching as well. So she will have some of you as your nutrition coach. So we'll go over, how you know who your coach is here in a little bit. Sarah Rowland, if you are ready to introduce yourself.
Yes, I am here. So I'm Sarah Rowland. I'm one of the online workout coaches for the Anna Kate Fitness team. I've been with the team for almost a year now, started last March officially taking clients online. I've known Anna Kate for quite a while. She was actually my nutrition coach for a while. She was my prep coach. I've been in fitness for the better of like 15 years, just kind of working out casually, and then kind of worked my way up into serious and competitive bodybuilding. And now I'm just doing it to stay as a fit mom and to help everybody else kind of transform their lives. And then for a few of you, I will be your nutrition coach starting with this shred as well. So I'm kind of growing on my end as a trainer and coach. So.
Perfect. And then Sonia's here.
Hello. So I'm actually pretty new to the Anna Kate Fitness team as a trainer, but I've been a client for quite a while. Started my journey a little over 4 years ago. I originally started with Anna Kate, and I was over 400 pounds when I started with Anna Kate. And I really just struggled a lot with, I was paying for the program, but I wasn't committed to it. And not only that, I was just in a lot of pain. And so after doing a lot of soul searching, I restarted and got really serious and lost over 230 pounds with a combination of diet, nutrition, and I'm also a bariatric patient. So I'm about 3.5 years post-bariatric, which means you have to stay focused to stay successful. And the only way to really do that is to have for me, was to have a team of people around me. And so I've done a couple of shreds with Anna Kate. I've also just been a workout client with her. And my main focus is to really help other people know that whether it's 5 pounds, 100 pounds, 200 pounds, it doesn't matter. It's really not about the weight. It's about the wellness and not allowing your body, mind, soul, spirit kind of keep you in a prison so you can just live your life. And so it's really about just surrounding yourself and using the tools around you for all of those aspects of wellness. And I've definitely found that with the Anna Kate team. And just in the fitness community in general. And so I'm really happy to be a part of it. And I'm really excited to get to help others reach their goals, whatever they may be.
And Sonia will be some of your workout coach. And she has, I think, one nutrition client this shred, also getting into the nutrition side of it as well. Sally is not on the call. She actually has dance tryouts today. So we're wishing her all luck. But she is our sales director, social media manager. So a lot of the graphics that you see, this PowerPoint, all the beautiful social media stuff, Sally does that. So she's part of the team as well. And she was also an Anna Kate Fitness client for maybe a year and a half. She's lost about 80 pounds herself as well. So really cool transformations here and growth just on all aspects of life. So let's go ahead and go to the next page. Okay, so getting prepared. So we have a couple of apps here that we'll need you guys to get downloaded. I did send all of this in an email already, but make sure that you have the Anna Kate Fitness app. So if you are an Apple user, it is in the App Store. I sent out a link for that. I think you can also just go to the App Store and search AK Fitness. I think that would work as well. Android users, it just got approved like today or last night. So I'm going to send out that information later if you're an Android user so you can get it downloaded. But you can also try to search your App Store for it and see if it pops up already. If not, then you can type in the website. It's just anikate.fitness. So it's not anikatefitness.com, it's anikate.fitness, and it'll work on your browser on your computer as well. Okay. So this is where we're going to do all of our check-ins, and it is where you will view your macros. We're going to go into what macros are here in a little bit, but that is where you'll view all of your nutrition information. Also cardio goals. We give you cardio goals and step goals and other micronutrient goals that we'll get into later as well. And then this is where you will do your check-in each week. So once you get logged in, everyone should have a login, I think, at this point. If you have not created an account, make sure you create a password and username and all that. Should be easy to do. If you have any problems, let us know. This is an app that I've been developing with an app developer for the past 7-ish months now, I think. So we're developing this from the ground up. So if there's anything that is weird or you guys have suggestions that would make it more easy for you or whatever, let us know. This is going to be a work in progress for another like year or two, and I have big goals for this app. So this is just the phase 1 startup of it. We're using for check-ins to make check-ins a lot easier for you guys. So then the next one is MyFitnessPal. So make sure you guys download the MyFitnessPal app. There's a free version and there's a premium paid version. I'm not sure exactly the cost on premium. Do you know? Like $80 a year, maybe? I don't know. Either way, you do not have to buy the premium version of MyFitnessPal. You can use the free version. The benefit of getting the paid version is that you can scan barcodes now, or well, they used to have it in the free option, but now you have to pay for the premium in order to scan barcodes. So what you're going to learn with MyFitnessPal is you'll be tracking your food. So you'll have to type in the food that you're eating, what it is, what the brand is, and then make sure that your serving size that you've tracked matches up to the serving size that you're eating. Okay. We'll go into that more later as well. We just want to make sure that you have the app. The paid version, you can scan the barcodes and you can enter in the exact macros that we give you. If you have the free version of MyFitnessPal, you can enter in the exact amount of calories that we give you, but then you'll just have to toggle the percentages when you go to your goals to get them as close as possible to the macros that we give you. So you'll want to go into MyFitnessPal. Let me pull it up here so I can show you guys how to get your macros set up. So open up MyFitnessPal here. You're going to go to, if you have an iPhone, it's at the bottom. If you have an Android, it's at the top left. So bottom right, click more, click goals, and then you're going to click calorie, carbs, protein, and fat goals. I'm not sure if you guys can see that super well. There we go. So then you'll enter in the calories that we have listed for you first. And then again, if you have the free version, it'll just be like a toggle right here. So you'll just have to toggle it to get it as close as possible. If you have the paid version, you can set them to the exact goals that we give you. Okay. So make sure you set those goals in there. If anyone has any questions about MyFitnessPal, how to get your goals set up, just let me know. We'll help you, no problem. But I think most of you have at least been somewhat familiar with MyFitnessPal at this point. So just make sure you get those goals set up in there to what we have for you. Then the last one is workout clients only. So if you paid for the Extra Shred workouts program, you should have, did you send out your emails already, your invites? Yeah. Okay, so by tomorrow probably, you'll have your invite from Trainerize. So in your email, you'll get an email invite from Trainerize. That is where you'll create your free account and you'll be able to immediately access your workouts from your coach. I think, Sarah, did you already send yours out?
Yes.
Okay, so if you're coached under Sarah, you should have already gotten this, and then Sonia's going to send hers out by tomorrow. And then the AK or the Trainerize workout app is pretty easy to use. I'll show you this as well, and we're also just going to do a tutorial at the end. So it'll look like this once you get it downloaded from the email, and then you'll see your account. So let me just pull up someone's random account. You'll be able to put in information here that you want. Again, you can put in as much information as you want. Doesn't really matter to us. But then your workouts, you'll be able to view them in here, and we'll go over this more towards the end of this call. Okay, so make sure if you do the workout program that you've gotten that email as well, or you'll get it tomorrow. So any quick questions about the apps real fast? No? Okay, let's go ahead and go to the next one. Okay, so the check-in process. So on the AK Fit app, that is where you'll do your check-ins. It'll say at the top which day your check-in day is. So it might be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, whatever. Make sure you complete it by 3 p.m. CST each day. When you do it, it'll ask for your weight. It'll ask for your progress pictures, some measurements. It'll ask for your daily macros. So as we get going through the program, once we have a full week, you'll have a full week's worth of macros to give us. And then a bunch of other questions. How do you feel? How's your energy? How's your hunger? Blah, 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 all that. Any extra notes that you have for us. Make sure when you give us your stats when you check in that it's fasted. So take your weight, your measurements and your pictures first thing in the morning before you eat or drink anything. Okay. Your check-in photos, we want them to be able to see kind of what's going on and the changes that are happening. So I also sent this out in an email yesterday, but make sure that girls, you either wear sports bra and shorts, undies, bikini, whatever you feel comfortable with. These pictures will not go anywhere until we ask for permission. At the very end of the shred, we send out a photo release form. So if you're okay with us sharing your before and afters, we'll share them if you're fine with it. If not, also fine too, but you will not just see random pictures of yourself on the internet with your underwear or whatever. Okay, so no worries there. And then make sure if you check in before 3 p.m. that you'll get an update that same day from your coach, or within 24 hours if you answer past 3 p.m. CST. And just kind of give your coach a heads up. Like, we want to know if you're going to be checking in late or checking in another day or something. The app will also send you an email reminder if you missed a check-in. So if your check-in day is Wednesday and oops, you forgot it was Wednesday, it'll send you a reminder on Thursday that you forgot to do your check-in. You can always do it the next day, okay? But try to get in a schedule. You can set a reminder on your phone to get your check-in sent in, whatever will make you do your check-in every single week. And these are so, so, so important. Your starting plan, your starting nutrition numbers are just our best educated guess. What matters the most is going to be your check-ins based upon how your body responds, words are hard, how your body responds, how you feel, how your weight loss is going, or how your muscle gains are going if you chose the muscle gaining program. And then that way we can adjust your nutrition accordingly. So you may not get an update with your nutrition you'll still get a typed up update from us, but we may not change anything. Or we might change something depending on how you responded. So the weekly check-ins are so important. We have no idea what's going on in your life unless you do your check-ins and let us know. Okay. Any questions on the check-in process? Oh, photos. You can take your check-in photos by yourself. You don't have to have someone take them for you. You can prop up your phone against something that's about like chest height, belly button height, whatever. Put it on the front camera and then hit record, and then just stand, do a front facing pose, side facing pose with your arms out, and then back facing pose, and then just screenshot. Okay, that's the easiest way to do it, so you don't have to rely on someone else. And try to make sure you have decent lighting so we can see what's going on. Same outfit each time would be preferred. Okay.
So I think one of the other things that's important about check-in photos, and trust me, I'm
The worst
at it because I have issues, but is especially with having a dietitian and having experienced individuals, even if you feel like your weight is not changing, your body composition could be changing, or we could be noticing changes in your body like inflammation, gut health. I mean, there's other things that we can see by your photos that you may not be recognizing that might help us be able to help you adjust your macros or food, because it's not just the scale. I mean, the scale is a bitch. Let's just put it out there, and it can really be I mean, we need it for accountability and we need it as one source of measurement, but it's not the only source of measurement. So that's why the pictures are so important. So make sure you're sending those pictures.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And also, if anyone is interested in getting a body fat scan here in Kansas, you can either get a DEXA scan, which is going to be the most accurate. You can go to Atlas MD. It's in Wichita. You can get it for $20. So that's a DEXA scan. It'll print out like 7 pages worth of information. It tells you your body fat. It tells you where you hold it. And then you can get one at the beginning of the shred and at the end of the shred. And that'll show some more data as well. You can also go to, and I think in most states as well, so if you don't live in Kansas, most states have access to an in-body scanner at most supplement stores or gyms. Like if you go to a commercial gym like a Vasa or YMCA or something like that, usually they'll have an in-body scanner as well that will give you body fat percentage too. So you can do that at the beginning and the end of the shred, but we don't need to do it really more often than that for that aspect. So just all forms of data to show that you've been progressing. All right, let's go to the next slide. Okay, so macros one-on-one. So usually Becky talks about this, but we are unable to hear her. So I'll go over this one. So what are macros? Macros are short for macronutrients, and they are the calorie-containing nutrients. So ideally, if you hit all your macros, if you've reached the goals that we've given you for the day, you're going to automatically hit your calorie goal. So we don't necessarily need to focus on calories too much. We want to focus on the main macronutrients because they each serve a very specific purpose. So carbs provide energy and brain function. Protein helps with muscle mass increasing and maintaining. Fats are really vital for all of our internal organs, skin, hair, nails, and hormone health as well. So getting in all of your macronutrients is very important. We never want to completely cut out a whole macronutrient group. Like, for example, the keto diet. I'm sure you guys have all heard of the keto diet. That completely cuts out a whole group of macros, which is carbs. Carbs provide energy and brain function. So you might notice if you've tried keto, you felt like really drained or pretty brain dead. And we don't need to do any of those extremes to lose weight. Okay. We want to do it the best way possible. We want to do it with your health in mind, and making sure that we're getting in all 3 macronutrients is very important for all of that. Okay. So this is what we call a flexible dieting approach. With macros, you can essentially eat whatever you want as long as it fits into your macros. Now, we do have suggestions. We are focused on health here, so we don't just want to like fill it with protein cookies and like, you know, random foods here and there. You can sure have those things, but we want to do an 80-20 approach. So 80% whole foods, 20% fun foods. We don't like to call them bad foods. We don't like to call them cheat meals, because then that makes it feel like you should feel guilty for eating those things, and you don't need to feel guilty for eating those things. We want to create a good balance with it so that you can have a healthy relationship with food. Okay. In the AK Fitness app, there is a resource section. I'll show you guys later. There's a resource section in there that has a grocery list. That grocery list is pretty much all the whole food sources, suggestions that you guys can eat. If it's not on the list, you can eat it. These are just really good suggestions of whole food sources. So try to fill your day with 80% of those foods. Also, we want to structure our meals accordingly to where it works for your schedule. So ideally, we want to get in 3 meals a day, maybe 1, maybe 2 snacks if possible. If your work schedule does not allow for 3 meals a day, we'll help you. But ideally, we want to try to eat as consistently as possible, because that is what's going to help your metabolic rate increase. We want the fastest metabolism possible. We don't want a slow metabolism, so we don't want to just starve ourselves all day and then eat a big meal at dinner time. Okay. The more consistently you eat, that is what will help your metabolic rate. When tracking your food in MyFitnessPal, so I know some of you may be new to tracking food here, so I'm just going to go over this really fast. So you'll go into your MyFitnessPal app with the diary part. Okay, so you'll go to the diary, and we suggest that you pre-plan each day. I think we'll get into this for the next slide too, but I'll go ahead and talk about it now. You're going to pre-plan 1 day in advance, or you can do multiple days in advance, but sometimes your taste buds might change. Like you might have planned turkey tacos on Thursday or something, but then Thursday rolls around and you really don't want that. You want something else, and that's fine. You can switch it up. So you'll type in here what you ate for, or what you're planning to eat for breakfast. For each meal, ideally, we want a carb, a protein, and a fat. In that resource section in the AK Fitness app, we have each category broken down into what foods are high in carbs, what foods are high in protein, what foods are high in fat. And as you start tracking, you will also learn these things as well. Okay, so then you'll do the same for lunch and dinner, and then you can add in a snack or 2 through the day if your schedule allows for it. And then fill in the gaps with other things. So once you type in all your meals, what you're going to eat per meal, and your snacks, you might have a few gaps to fill in. You might have like 10 grams of protein left, 20 grams of carbs left. Just fill those in with foods and try to get as close to your macros as possible. Since we are focusing on a whole food approach, it's going to look like a lot of food, especially at first. Okay, it's going to feel like a lot of food. You might feel pretty full actually the first week. Just trust us with this, that this is around the right amount of food that you guys need to eat. And then next week, we'll see how your body responds to it, and the week after, and so forth. But usually after the first week or 2 of eating that much food, then your metabolism will start responding because you're eating more. So your metabolism will speed up to adjust to it. Then you'll start feeling hungry and you won't feel full anymore. Okay. And that's when your weight starts dropping off. So again, you don't need to force feed if it is like seriously like you're getting sick to your stomach. Don't do that. Don't force feed. Don't get yourself, sick. Just get as close as possible to those goals, and then know that that fuel is what's going to help your metabolism and your weight loss. Okay. With flexible dieting, you're pretty much creating your own meal plan each day. Okay. So some people are like, oh, what's the difference between like macros and meal plan? There's not much of a difference other than with a meal plan, I'm telling you what to eat, and I maybe don't know your preferences or your schedule or the groceries that your grocery store has or whatever. And with meal plans, there's always going to be a slight variance because of the brands. So if I give you a certain brand, but your store doesn't have it, it's going to be off a little bit. So macro tracking is a lot more accurate, and you get to create the meals that you actually enjoy. Okay. So it's still a meal plan. It's just you are creating it each day and we can help you. So if you really, really need help, you're like, I just really can't get this food mixture to hit my goals, reach out to your coach. Send us a screenshot of your food diary or of your macros and say, hey, I need help. I have this many macros left. What can I eat? And we will help you fill those gaps. Okay. So if you're stuck, if you have questions, don't just give up, come to us and ask us for questions. We're all really fast at answering and responding to help you guys. Okay. And if anyone just needs help with like the first couple of days, we will help you create that meal plan for the first couple of days. Macro tracking, you're going to learn a lot about your food. Whereas with a meal plan, you don't really learn much. You're not the one that's looking at the data. Like you're not the one that's going to go to Longhorn Steakhouse and order a salad and realize it has 40 grams of fat in a salad. Like you're going to learn these things through this program by tracking your food. And you may learn that picking the salad at a restaurant is actually not the best option for your macros. Okay. Also going out to eat, pretty easy too. Type in the restaurant that you're going to, type in the food. You don't have to be super anal with it. Like you can just, if you're going to, especially a local place, it's probably not going to have that place in MyFitnessPal. Just type in as generic as possible, or you can do separate ingredients to try to get it as close as possible. Again, we're not aiming for perfection. We're just aiming for consistency and trying to be somewhat accurate with everything as best we can. Okay, any quick questions about macros or the tracking?
Can you hear me now?
Sorry, go ahead.
Can you hear me now?
Yay!
Oh, finally. Okay, I figured it out. Sorry about that.
No, you're good.
Usually this is my part of the spiel, so thank you for taking over for that. But yes, does anyone have any questions? And I'll take the next one if you want, Anna Kate.
Perfect.
Questions?
The tracking will make more sense once you start doing it as well. You might be like, this stuff is really confusing. I remember when I first started tracking, it was really confusing the first like week or two, but commit to it every single day and it'll get easy like that. You'll be able to do it within minutes each day.
And another thing that you can do to get started is pick one meal that you make that you eat the same for the whole week. So if it's breakfast, it's easiest. Pick breakfast and do, a breakfast burrito every day with some fruit. Or whatever it is that you choose, but make it the same meal because that's one less meal that you have to track. And so you won't feel as overwhelmed. You can even do it with 2 meals if you want to, and then make your third meal a variety. That's something that'll help you when you first start tracking, making it easier for you to not feel so overwhelmed, because a lot of people feel overwhelmed, like if they make a mistake or this is so much work, and then they tend to fall off, and that's what we don't want you to do. So use that repetitive meal to just get you started, and then you can adjust from there.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Simple meals, simple tracking. There is a recipe function in MyFitnessPal as well. You can use that if you're making more complex recipes, but keep it real simple. Pick a protein, pick a carb, pick a fat, and then fruits and vegetables intermittently, put them in through the day. And then that is how we want you to structure each meals in the beginning to keep it very simple. Okay. Let's go to the next slide and then we'll get into more of that with Becky.
Yeah, sorry about my technical issues. I'm on my work computer right now. Like Anna Kate said, I work full time at a hospital, so I'm actually here today and they have certain things blocked, so I couldn't access my microphone, but I figured it out. So we will move right along with tips for being successful with the shred and with tracking your macros. First and foremost, I would say plan ahead. The people who are most successful with our program are the people who plan out their days ahead of time. Like Anna Kate was explaining, that you really want to set up your base meals and then kind of look back. If you have some macros left, you can fill those in as needed. But typically people who track as they go throughout the day are the people who are not as successful. Usually if you're kind of just tracking as you eat throughout the day, one of two things happens. You'll get to 4 p.m. and you'll be like, oh my gosh, I have no more fat for the day. Like, what am I going to have for a fat-free dinner, right? And then you have to get really creative to stick to your macros. Or you'll get to 9 or 10 o'clock at night and you'll be like, oh shoot, I have 50 grams of protein left. Like, how am I going to get this in, right? And I have had clients do that and then they end up eating a can of straight tuna, and like, we don't want that. Nobody wants that. We can prevent that all by just planning ahead, right? So definitely plan out your day. The good thing, like Anna Kate was saying, is that even if you made something ahead of time, you're not really feeling it that day, you can definitely still swap something out. Weigh and measure everything, right? So there's a lot of variability in intake when you're not weighing your food. We want to use grams and ounces as much as possible. Even cups and tablespoons can vary pretty greatly. So that's why we have everyone buy a food scale before starting the program. I think we included that in the first email. If you don't have one yet, you can definitely get one this weekend. If you go to AnnaKateFitness.com and scroll to the bottom, we have some recommendations for scales that you can buy on Amazon, and Anna Kate just put it in the chat if you want that link there. You can also just run to Target or Walmart. They don't have to be anything super fancy, $10 to $15. They should just be digital, which I think all of them are nowadays. So we really want you to weigh and measure everything. It's just the most accurate way. The other thing too is that a lot of times when people are tracking in MyFitnessPal, they'll track something like a medium banana. But what is a medium banana? That is a very subjective measurement, right? So we want to use grams and ounces as much as possible. Anna Kate already stole this line from my slide. Simple food choices equals simple tracking, right? So especially if you are new to tracking macros, keep it simple. It's a lot easier to track a meal with, you know, your rice, your chicken, your vegetable versus making some complex meal like lasagna that has a ton of different ingredients and you have to weigh the different things and measure and portion. Don't get me wrong, you definitely can do that. I would say once you learn the basics and you have that down pat, it becomes a lot easier to do more of the recipes and use the recipe function. And if you are ever curious about that, your coach is more than happy to help you and guide you through that. But at first, keep it simple. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. That being said, it doesn't mean you have to eat plain or flavorless food. Feel free to use seasonings. Feel free to use spices. Feel free to use sauces. Especially if the sauces have, you know, oil in them, you do want to track it. Salt, seasonings like spices, you don't have to track. We don't really recommend any salt restriction unless you have high blood pressure, which I'm hoping if you do, you put that in the initial questionnaire so we know that ahead of time. I know sometimes people ask. We do have people track salt just because it can contribute to weight fluctuations. So if one week maybe your weight went up and we're not exactly sure why, we'll look and see and say, oh, hey, you actually had a lot more sodium this week. Maybe that's contributing to the weight change. But you don't have to restrict your sodium. So even though it's simple food, it doesn't have to be bland. It doesn't have to be boring. Anna Kate already brought this up as well. So we are aiming for consistency, not perfection, right? I think a lot of people have a very all or nothing mindset. They either have to get their macros perfect or they kind of just give up trying, right? And it doesn't have to be that. We want you to try every single day, even if one day doesn't go according to plan, even if you were completely off track, that's okay. Just make your best effort the following day. You know, and I think consistency along with persistence. Eating foods that you enjoy. Again, this is why we really recommend macros instead of a meal plan. I can sit here and give you a meal plan of specific foods to eat each day, but if I tell you to eat oatmeal for breakfast every day and you hate oatmeal, that is not a sustainable way to be eating or losing weight or meeting your goals in the long term. So you can pick the foods that you enjoy. Another thing too, Anna Kate, I'm not sure if you mentioned this, but you can choose the times that you eat that work best for your schedule and for your hunger levels. So if you know that your appetite isn't as big in the morning, you can choose to have a smaller breakfast and then maybe plan for a larger dinner if you know that's how your body works. Some people really aren't sure. It may take some trial and error to learn what works well for your body and your energy levels, but you can follow a schedule that works best for you. We do recommend having at least 3 solid meals per day, but snacks are also up to you. So if you're more of a grazer, maybe you have 3 smaller meals and 3 snacks throughout the day. But if you like having just bigger meals, maybe you have 3 big meals per day, and that's totally fine and totally up to your decision and preference. Another thing for being successful with the shred is finding exact items in MyFitnessPal. Unfortunately, they used to have the barcode scanner. They changed that just to a premium feature. So if you have the premium, you can still scan the barcode. If you don't, just make sure you're searching for the exact item that you have and make sure the nutrition facts in MyFitnessPal match the nutrition facts on the label. you know, if you're just searching for generic items or if it's the incorrect one, like Anna Kate said, that can increase the variability of what you're actually consuming versus what you're tracking. So we want to get as specific as possible. You also want to track food how you weigh it. So the weight for a serving size of the food is always based on how the food comes. So for example, rice, pasta, oats, it's all based on the dry weight. So if you're tracking it that way, you want to weigh it out raw. For meat, it's also based on the raw weight. For frozen goods, even if you have frozen vegetables or maybe some frozen chicken tenders that you throw in the air fryer, that's all based on the frozen weight. So when you cook something, it can change the water content. Some things lose water, some things gain water, like meats lose water, rice and pasta gain water. So that's going to change the actual weight. So let's say you want to prepare lunches for the week. You want to make a pot of rice. You want to have rice every day for lunch that week. Don't drive yourself crazy. You don't have to have 10 different pots of rice going at the same time because you measured them all dry. I would say just make a big batch of it. And then in MyFitnessPal, search for jasmine rice cooked, and then find one that it's based on the cooked weight. So then you can just weigh it out cooked, right? Or if you're making a meal for your family, that's the easiest too. You don't have to make your own separate portion. For things like that, I do recommend using the nutrition facts from the USDA. So I would say like chicken breast cooked USDA. USDA stands for the United States Department of Agriculture. We know that is a reliable source of nutrition information, so go with that. One of the downsides of MyFitnessPal is that anyone can create a food entry, so sometimes they're not always the most accurate. But if you find one that says USDA, it's typically from the USDA website. We know that's a reliable source of nutrition information. So again, if you're doing like a banana, you could just say banana grams USDA and track it in grams. If you're doing cooked chicken, if you're doing cooked rice, that's my recommendation for that. But again, be as specific as possible. Like if you're doing brown rice versus white rice, try to get as close as possible. And last but not least, communicate with your coach. You know, as much as we want to be mind readers, we are not. So if you are struggling, if you are having a hard time, please reach out to us. We are always here for you. That's what our job is, right? We can't always know if you're having a hard time, so please communicate with us. There are several ways to reach us. We have the in-app messaging now. We have email. We have social media if you really want. I would say messaging and email are the best way to reach us. And if you're having a really hard time, we can set up just a one-on-one call just to touch base and talk through things. Like that's what we're here for. Please utilize us as a resource. And always checking in every single week, even if you had what you would consider a terrible week. We want to know. We want to know how we can help you. We want to take that as you know, a way to learn about you and what's going on and how we can improve from there. So good, bad, we want to hear from you. Make sure you're always communicating with your coach. Yeah.
Yes, and I'll show you guys on the AK Fitness app where the resource section is, because there's a lot of cool things in there. So mine's going to look a little bit different from yours, but if you go to those 3 lines at the top, at the very bottom here, it'll say resources. So right here, there's stuff about women and hormones. There's the example grocery list that I was talking about. So this breaks it down into each macronutrient list. So definitely take a peek at that grocery list. How to measure, just making sure that you're measuring in the same spot each week. The YouTube channel also has a ton of information on there. So if you want to read or watch some of those videos whenever you get bored, it'll give you a lot more in-depth information on a ton of things and information for you. Also, just more macro lists for you guys to break down the foods into each macronutrient category. So if you're like, I need protein and carbs, well, here's a diagram that shows you what foods have protein and carbs in them. What foods have protein and fats. There's a diagram for that too. So, and then also an FAQ at the very bottom. So that's where the resource section is. I like to think of macros as like a budget, right? So when it comes to like our money, we have a budget for our money. You want to do that for macros too. And this is just a tool. You don't have to track macros forever. You're going to learn a lot while you do this. And eventually you'll be able to just intuitively eat and either maintain your weight, or you can choose to lose weight if you want, kind of whatever it is. But tracking is a tool. Okay. So it's not necessarily forever. Just use it as your food budget so that we can make sure that you stay within your budget and you lose the weight or see the whatever results that you want to get for this shred challenge. Okay. All right, let's go to the next slide. Maybe. Okay. Okay. Nutrition Q&A. Where is it? It's not popping up yet. Anyway, nutrition Q&A. Any questions on anything nutrition, macros, any of that? No. Okay, let's go to the next one. Now it is. Okay, now trainerize. Okay, Sarah, take the mic.
I can't see the slide for some reason. There we go. Okay. Now it's on nutrition Q&A. So there we go. No.
Go one
Am
more.
I the only one that can't see it?
What slide do you want it on? Trainerize or
That
this one? Key points.
Key
The
points.
key point.
Okay, there
So
you go.
I know what I need to talk about.
Okay.
Is it up? Mm-mm. There we go. Okay. It's there now.
Cool.
All right. So Trainerize is the app that you guys will use if you have signed up for workouts, which I guess before I get started, did we want to let people hop off the call that aren't doing workouts?
Yeah. If you're not doing the workout program, you can hop off now, or you can just hang around and see what it's all about as well.
Yeah.
Up to you. So
Okay.
if you're hopping off, bye, see you later. Reach out with whatever questions you have, and everyone else just stay on the call.
Okay. So if you are doing the workouts, you will, like Anna Kate said earlier, receive or have already received an email from your workout coach to go into Trainerize, get the app, and set up your account. When you get set up in your account, by tomorrow evening, you will have your workouts assigned to you by your workout coach. The program that you will receive is based on your goal and what you listed in your initial questionnaire as what your goal was, where you'll be working out, that sort of thing. So it's a set programming based on your goal. I have some examples here, like if you're a female and you're shredding and you're working out at home, you will have a set program for that. Or if you're a male and you're shredding and you're working out at home, you'll have a set program for that. Or if you're in the gym, you're going to have a workout more geared towards workouts in the gym. Okay. It's important that you track all of your workouts in the app. This is the way that we know how you're progressing, how things are going. Just like Anna Kate mentioned earlier, if you aren't tracking things, it's hard for us to really help you when you reach out for help, or if you're struggling, we don't really know what ways we can help you because we can't really see your progress. So please make sure as you're doing the workouts that you're tracking the workouts in the app. It's also good for you to be able to see your progress in the app because it will show you what you did last week. And so that kind of gives you a starting point. If you know you're trying to progress this week, it'll, pop right up and show you what your sets and reps were last week. So it's good reference for you to even have to stay organized and continue to push yourself. I think Anna Kate showed this a little bit earlier, and you'll see it in the tutorial as well, but you can connect all of your smart devices. So if you have a Fitbit, if you have an Apple Watch, if you have a Garmin, you can link all of those up with your MyFitnessPal, and it will keep track of things like your workout heart rate, your steps every day, that sort of thing. It's really up to you if you want to connect those things, but sometimes people like to have that data that connects over as well. Also, you can connect your MyFitnessPal and it will transfer over your macros. And they just did an update with the MyFitnessPal and Trainerize, so it shows exactly like what your macros are and how many you have left for the day and stuff like that. Not that you necessarily need it on there because you're keeping track in MyFitnessPal, but if you want to link that up as well, you certainly can. As far as uploading progress pics and weight into Trainerize, that's optional. So through this program, if you are doing nutrition, you're checking in with your nutrition coach every week. If you're doing nutrition and workouts while you have two different coaches, the way this program is designed is that you're just checking in with your nutrition coach. By any means, that doesn't mean that your workout coach does not care. We still, want to hear from you. We still want to touch base with you and see how you're doing and know that you're progressing. So when you're sending your weekly progress pics and your weights, your workout coach doesn't necessarily see that because that's stuff that goes to your nutrition coach. So if you feel inclined, you can upload your progress pics into Trainerize as well. And that gives your workout coach an idea of how your body composition is also changing. If you're putting your weight in there, we can also see if you're progressing one way or another. If you're bulking, we would expect to kind of see like a slower weight gain. If you're shredding, we would, also expect to see different body composition changes and, a lot of times a weight loss. So that's not required, but it does just kind of help your workout coach stay a little bit better in tune with your progress. So halfway through the program, you will receive a spreadsheet from your workout coach of your progress. It's an Excel spreadsheet. It'll show every workout that you've done from the beginning of the program to that period of time, and it will show the sets and the reps and the weight and all that. And it just kind of shows you the linear progression as you've gone along. In addition to that, you will also get a spreadsheet at the very end of the program showing all of your progress through the full 12 weeks. At that time, during the halfway mark, your program will be updated to kind of build upon what you've done the first 6 weeks. So again, this is where it's important that we've seen your workouts because one, we'll know, okay, they've been doing the program, they're ready for a change in their workouts, they're ready to advance. If you haven't logged any workouts in there to us, it looks like you just haven't been doing the program, which sometimes that happens. People join the program and then they just don't do it. But it helps us to kind of know where to progress you and how to progress you. And that sort of thing. So it doesn't change your workout 100%. You might have a few exercises that stay the same, but most everything is going to be slightly different. We might advance you from dumbbells to barbells on certain exercises, or we might have you go from a Smith machine to doing free weights, or from the actual workout machines to free weights again, or doing body movements or something like that. So expect an update halfway through your program. As always, at the beginning and anytime through the middle, the halfway point, whatever, if something isn't making sense to you about the exercises, if there's something that you cannot do, let's say we program a certain exercise and your gym does not have that machine, please reach out to us and let us know so that we can find an appropriate substitution so that you can be getting the full workout. As well with the home workout folks, if we're assigning you workouts and you don't have the bands, the appropriate bands that we've listed in the workout, or, if you don't have the dumbbells, or let's say you have only a certain weight of dumbbells up to a certain point and you've gotten to that point and you really can't progress anymore, please touch base with us so we know how to help you advance. It's just communication is key, and we want you to be successful, but we can only help you if we know you need help. So don't feel like you're bothering us or that you're a hinder. That's why you've hired us as your coaches. We're here for you, and we just, need to know what your needs are so we can utilize all of our resources to give you. Form check videos. This one is big. Again, don't feel like you're bothering us. That's why you have a coach. If you're doing an exercise, it doesn't feel right. You're not sure if you're performing it correctly. Things just don't seem good. You're wondering if something's hurting. It just feels off. Please send us a form check video. We're not here to judge you. We're here to help you. So we will break it down for you. A lot of times we'll send you a video right back of us doing it. If we can show you better body mechanics and that will make more sense, we can do that. We can also just sometimes guide you right in the video, and we can say, well, your foot placement is this, or try doing this with your arms, or do this as you're, lowering or increasing the weight. So don't feel like that is not an option. We're here for you to help you. The Trainerize group chat within your individual Trainerize app, your coach will create a group chat for you. It's just kind of one place for the exercise clients to have a place to kind of ask questions, motivate one another, encourage one another, share their wins, that sort of thing. I usually get on there, I'm on there every day, but I usually post stuff in there a couple times a week to kind of help motivate you, usually at the beginning of the week, sometimes halfway through the week. If there's someone that has had a big win, like if they've had 100th workout or something, Trainerize will post that on there, and I'll usually comment on that, and then everyone else can kind of chime in and congratulate that person and encourage that person. And it's just a way to kind of have camaraderie within your workout group. There's also the Facebook private group, so obviously join that because you're going to have the entire Shred community in there for this challenge, and you can do the nutrition side of it there. But within the group chat on Trainerize, it'll just be your exercise peers. And then progressive overload. I'm guessing Sally added that in yesterday. So yay, thank you, Sally. So I don't forget to talk about that. You will have this listed within your workout and it will kind of talk about the ways that you can do progressive overload. There's many different ways, but it's how we want you kind of continually advancing through your program and pushing yourself. But the most common ways are either increasing sets or reps, sets as well, but the most common ways are reps or weight. So, 1 week you might go up a little bit in weight, and because you've gone up a little bit in weight, you can't do as many sets, so you'll drop, or you can't do as many reps, so you'll drop down a few reps, and that's fine. And then you'll stay at that weight until you can advance those reps back up. And then you might even get to where you're at the peak of the weight, so we might have you do another set. Or we might have you do time under tension, where we have you hold the movement for a few seconds to really have time under tension with that weight. We might have you add in bands. We might have you add in pulses, that sort of thing. So again, communication is key. If you're struggling to figure out how to progressively overload throughout your program, just ask us. And this is where tracking your workouts helps us as well, because we can go into your program and see kind of what you've done, how you've progressed. One time I had a client and she said, I just feel like I'm not progressing and I don't know what I need to do. And I went in, and even though I had her programmed for 10 reps, she was doing like 20 reps, but really, really lightweight. And I said, well, if you're able to do 20 reps, I can tell you can do more weight. Like, we can just communicate and tell you better ways to work through the program the way we have it designed for you. Any questions about the app, progressive overload, the workouts, anything like that? Go ahead.
Where does that pop up? Where do our workouts pop up on the app? I don't know if I.
So when I did a screen recording, and when we go to the next slide, it'll play and it'll go through all that for you. Yeah. And it is kind of confusing at first when you first get in there. So I encourage you this weekend to go ahead and get into your Trainerize app. You cannot mess anything up in the app. So go ahead and get in there. All of your functions are at the bottom of the screen. Get in there and just start tapping away at stuff. Start getting familiar with where everything's at. If your workouts aren't in there yet, so you won't be able to necessarily see your program until we get those all plugged in. But as we do, you'll be able to go in, and it's the kettlebell icon is what it is, where you'll see your workouts at, Michael. But the Trainerize tutorial will teach you where everything's at. But yeah, just get in there and play around with it so you can kind of familiarize yourself before you start on Monday. And then again, when you get in there, if things aren't making sense, you don't know how to log something, you don't know where to find something, you don't know how to toggle through something, just reach out to Sonia or I. We're happy to help you. Any other questions about this? And then we'll watch the Trainerize video. Sonia, do you have anything to add that I didn't touch base on?
No, that's all good. I think the biggest thing is form check. Like I had a client who was a little bit self-conscious about something, and she waited till pretty much close to the end of the last shred. And definitely, I mean, I understand that it can be a challenge. It can be a little bit hard to want to share those, but the more you do, the more we can help you, particularly if you're feeling any kind of pain. Like one of the things that I think is missed a lot is making sure you're keeping a neutral back, or you're not, while you're not like tilting your head too far back or too far forward. I mean, you don't really think about how, if you're doing an RDL, but you're keeping your head a certain way, you might be creating pain in your upper back and you don't know where it's coming from, but it might hinder you further through your program. So those are the little things that we want to help you change to make your workouts more efficient and for you to have appropriate soreness, but not inappropriate soreness, if that makes sense, because that can keep you from progressing.
Absolutely. And Sonia brought up a great point. Like, please don't feel ashamed of, like if you feel like your form is going to be wrong. I mean, everybody has to start somewhere. And just remember that every single one of us as your coaches have started somewhere. And, we have years of experience and we have training and that sort of thing, but that's why you hired us, is to help you. So we're not going to be judging you. Don't feel silly sending that to us. We want to make sure that you're getting through your workouts, but that you're getting through them safely and not creating any injuries or body, issues that you didn't even have before. I had one client a while back and she actually hurt her back pretty bad. She'd been doing some workouts, and once she she actually had to go through physical therapy and lay off of her lower body exercises for quite a while. And when she got back to it, I had her right away send me a form check video just before she even added any weight. I just had her do an air squat, and the form was crazy. Okay. If I would have known that like much earlier, I could have probably prevented her from having that back injury. So a lot of times I even tell my folks, like, before I start having you do some of the complex movements where body mechanics are so important, I will tell you, you must send a form check video to me this week before we really get into like heavier weights or anything, because I want to make sure you're safe. So just know that's very important to us, is keeping you guys safe.
And on that as well, there's a waiver form. So send it back to us. Once you set up your Trainerize account, it should pop right up. It'll say, here's a waiver form. There's also a PAR-Q form. You can just ignore that one because we've done all the questionnaires and everything. Just send back the waiver form to either myself or your workout coach, and just so I have that on file.
And with that, with the waiver and the PAR-Q, we do, there's a portion in Trainerize where it asks, and I think even in the initial questionnaire, like if you've had any injuries or if you have any body limitations, and we do look at that. But sometimes, like, as we're programming your stuff, or really you're getting like a set workout, but sometimes if we have to switch stuff up for you, if there's an exercise that you're unable to do because of like physical limitations, please just let us know. We don't want you trying to force yourself to get through that exercise and you have a back injury that you have to worry about, or you've had a knee surgery and you can't do a certain type of lunge or something that we're doing. Just let us know, and we're more than happy to switch that out for you so that your program works for you. Okay. Any other questions about the workouts? Nope. Okay. And then this next part, it's a quick little screen recording that I did that kind of takes you through the Trainerize and where you can find stuff.
I want to say,
Okay, I just want to clarify, y'all did hear the video, right? Because I didn't hear any sound on my end.
No.
You guys didn't hear any sound either?
I asked you if you
Yeah.
could hear the sign, sorry.
Okay. Sorry. So you guys didn't hear it?
No, it was like really quiet. There was like no sound of anything. So I was like, oh, maybe I'm supposed to just be watching it.
Okay, I should have said something at the beginning, but everyone was kind of looking and doing like this. I was like, okay, they're hearing it. Maybe I'm just not. And I don't really like listening to myself anyways. So I was like, I'm just going to let them listen to me. But
Do you want to just
Okay.
give like a quick, like just like a quick recap maybe of like what you said? I don't know. Or we could watch it again.
Yeah,
I think it's helpful for them to hear it as I like go through the different sections.
Okay.
I don't know
Yeah.
why you couldn't
We'll start
hear it,
again. We'll
though.
just keep my sound on and listen from there.
You won't really hear it if my sound's not on.
Well, but turn it on your computer. Turn it up.
If I turn it up, it's gonna, I have to unmute it.
And then there's the bad echo when you do whatever you just did.
It's,
Technology, gotta love it.
I know.
No, but I think when you mute it, maybe because you're playing it from your computer. So I can see your sound is muted.
But now, are you guys gonna get an echo?
Can you hear now?
Yeah, there's a really like bad echo.
Can you hear it or no?
No.
Maybe we could just spend it.
I don't understand why there's an echo on your guys' end. Is it because you, Anna Kate and Sonia, do you both have your phones on or your
Yeah, if I-
computers? Maybe
turn
one
my-
of you, like Sonia, if you
Yeah,
maybe
so-
get off of yours, since you guys are both right there, maybe that won't cause the echo. And then Anna Kate, your sound is muted, so maybe that's
There. If I turn,
Sonia, you mute yours. And then Anna Kate, unmute yours and play the video.
we can't do that because if my sound is muted, then you can't hear the video at all.
Oh.
We can't hear it, you can't hear it, nobody can hear it. If she unmutes, it causes the echo.
We can send it.
We'll just send
Okay.
it.
Yeah, we'll send it.
Yeah,
We'll send
one
it
of you
again.
needs to mute, and one of you needs to unmute. Whoever's playing the video needs to unmute. Whoever's not playing
Yeah.
the video, mute.
We tried.
Yeah, I didn't.
Okay.
But
Well,
we'll
I'll just kind of give a voice tutorial. Basically, I don't know if you guys will be able to send that or not because it's 5 minutes long, so I think it'll be too big. I don't know if we have any way to maybe like upload it somewhere where they can go in, but you can try. Basically, it just walks you through the different parts of Trainer Eyes. At the bottom of the screen, there's a rocket ship. That's kind of your home screen. always just hit that rocket ship to go back out to start like fresh at the home screen. The most important part in the TrainArrays app is the kettlebell. Okay, so just think of your kettlebell as your exercise. That's where all your exercises are located. When you click on the kettlebell, you'll have your days listed out there. Your exercises will be programmed in each day. Different coaches program things different ways. So, you know, your program might be called like a push day, or it might be called like a back and bi day, or, you know, different sort of things, a shoulder try day. You'll have leg days. It's a total body workout program. So you'll have things for upper body, lower body, abs. The men will have more of an upper body focus because we know that's kind of what they prefer, where the women will have a little bit more of a lower body focus on their programs. Within each exercise, you can click on the little thumbnail and it will actually show a video of the exercise being done. Now, I will say the exercises are like stock videos. So some of the models that are doing the exercises, the form is a little wonky. It looks a little strange. So if you're, you know, not as relaxed as like your natural body mechanics would let you be, some things might not quite feel right. So again, that's where those form check videos are very important. If it doesn't feel right, just let us know, send us a video, we'll get you straightened out. When you click start now to start your workout, you'll have to go to the little blue button that says start now. And when you do that, then it'll bring up the screen where you have the boxes to program in your reps and your weight. And, you know, if your coach has assigned you 3 sets, it'll just have 3 sets right there. But let's say you do 1 warm-up set and then you do 3 working sets. If you want to log your warm-up set, you can. I usually do because I like to, sometimes I'll increase my weight even for my warm-up sets each week, or my reps or something like that. So if you've plugged in all 3 of your boxes and one of them was your warm-up set and the other 2 were just 2 working sets, but you still need to do a 3rd working set, at the bottom of each little section of your workouts, it'll say add set. And you just click that and it'll pop up a 4th set, and then you can plug in the reps and weight for your 4th set, which is really actually your 3rd working set. So you have a little wiggle room there. When you are done with your workout, one of the most important things while you're in TrainArrays and using it is you have to hit save, either at the very bottom of your screen within the workout, or in the top right-hand corner, there's a button that says save. If you do not save and you log out or you get out of it, it only keeps it up in the app for, I don't even know how long of a period of time, but it does not log the data without you hitting save. So make sure that you do that before you end your workout so that all the stuff is programmed in there. And then the little dial that you've seen kind of going back left and right, that's an RPE. That's a rate of perceived exertion. It will ask you to rate your workout. That's subjective. That's just what you feel like the workout was for you, how hard it was for you. And you'll see, like, as you swing that around, you toggle that around, it'll say easy, somewhat easy, hard, moderate, you know, and extremely hard. Rate it honestly. It helps us to kind of know where you're at. If we're seeing that, you know, all your workouts are like at a 10, you're really having a hard time, we might touch base with you and say, hey, you know, like, what's going on? Do we need to change some things up, or that sort of thing? I mean, of course, you can always just put 1. We've had clients do that every single workout. They put 1. Kind of makes me feel a way about myself, like, you know, I'm not pushing y'all enough. So try and be as honest, you know, with that portion, so we can kind of gauge your progress and how you're doing. Again, you can link up your Fitbit, your Apple Watch, that sort of thing, and on that first screen, I think it is where some of that information will transfer over, or it might be on your workout screen or something. You'll see like how many steps you had for the day. So if you link those up, that information will transfer over and you'll see it within your app. There's a messaging portion in the app, so you can always message us. And then within the TrainArrays app is where you'll see the little group chat as well, and you'll be able to engage with your coach and your other exercise peers. So
There's
go
there's
ahead.
also an option. Can you hear me?
Mhm.
There's also an option for you to substitute if you need to.
Yes.
So let's say you have, we've programmed something and you don't have the machine, or you can't get on the machine and you just want to continue on with your workout. You can hit the ellipsis up on the corner by it, and you can substitute for something similar, or, you know, that would be basically working the same body function. But then it would just log that you actually did a different exercise, which is perfectly okay. And there are circumstances where you might need to do that. Or if you don't know what to do, you can also message us and we can say, well, if you can't get on, let's say you can't get on a incline bench because there's not one available and you want to move on with your workout, what can you do instead? And we can give you a suggestion usually pretty quickly.
Absolutely. Yep. So any questions about the Trainerize app after we've kind of ran through that?
I just emailed Pam and Mike. I just emailed you guys the presentation,
Oh,
and
good.
you may need access to it. So I asked Becky to give you access because she's the one that made it. So you should have gotten that in your email. You should be able to open it right away. If not, Becky will give you the access so you'll be able to open it and just go to the very end of the PowerPoint and you'll be able to watch the video.
Perfect. I'm glad that went through.
Wonderful.
The last thing I just want to say to you guys is I just kind of want to leave you with 3 mottos that I kind of live by. The third one is just brand new for my own personal self, but I want to share it with you guys. But the first one is, with a program like this or just making a change for yourself for the better, the hardest part is just getting started, right? And you guys have already done that. You've already committed to this program. You've already signed up. So you've already completed the first step. Now that can carry over as you go through this program. Sometimes the hardest part is just getting started with your workout. Sometimes the hardest part is just getting started with that next workout or the next exercise within your workout. That's like your least favorite exercise within that particular day. Just remember that, you just got to get started, push yourself and just get started. The second one is that anything is better than nothing. So on those days that you're really struggling, you're just like, I do not want to go and get this workout in. I'm tired. I've had a rough day. We know that exercise actually is a positive stress reliever. It actually releases feel-good endorphins that help us feel better afterwards. So even though beforehand you're not really feeling up for it, afterwards you're going to be glad that you did. And it might not be your best workout. That is okay. All right. Something is always better than nothing. And as you get into these healthier habits and you get into just a way of life where you're pushing yourself and you make these things daily habits of yourself, you'll realize that, like, okay, I'm going to go today. Definitely wasn't my best workout, but it's sure better than doing nothing. And then the third one is progress over perfection. And honestly, this is something that I've just had to tell myself recently. The last couple months, I've been in a little slump myself. I've just been dealing with a lot of burnout. And as I've been trying to get back on to track, like what's on track for me, I've had to remind myself that frequently. I was very competitive with my workouts for a while, held myself to a very high standard, and I feel like I'm really far from where I had been. And I have to remind myself as I'm moving forward and getting back to where I want to be, any progress is better than that level of perfection that I once felt like I was at. So don't get discouraged. Don't get upset with yourself if you don't feel like, some days you're just not able to do as much. Just remember, we don't expect you to be perfect, not with your nutrition, not with your workouts, but we do expect some progress. We do want to see you trying, and that's how we're able to continue to help you reach your goals. So hardest part's getting started. Anything is better than nothing. Progress over perfection, and always get it. That's all I have.
Yay. And if you need some motivation, talk to Sarah and Sonia. They're super awesome with that. They'll get you hyped up for anything.
Yeah, we
They'll
love to
get you hyped up
hashtag
too, like,
no excuses. Get it. Swole with roll, whatever you need. We got it. We got a hashtag for you.
Yep.
Yes.
We do.
And keep smiling. You guys have beautiful smiles.
All right. If there's not any other questions, I guess that adjourns our.
Michael has a question.
Oh,
I do have a
Mike.
question. I have a couple questions.
Go ahead.
So like under the AK Fitness app, it has like your daily average fiber and like your sodium. Will MyFitnessPal track that and put that in for us?
Yep.
Okay. And
Yeah, and real fast, let me show you a little hack here. So in MyFitnessPal, to see what your daily macros are, you're gonna go to more. You're gonna go to nutrition, and then oops, I clicked the wrong thing. Nutrition. Here we go. And then if you click the nutrients at the top there, it'll tell you what your totals are over your goal. Okay, so if you can see that, that'll give you your totals for each day. And then if you scroll down, you'll be able to see sodium. And then where's fiber? Where are you? Oh, fiber's
it's not
more at the
near
top. Yep. So this is the day view.
Okay, perfect.
Now we want a weekly average for your fiber and sodium because we don't necessarily need to see every single day. If you click day view, it'll go down and it'll say week view. You see
Perfect.
there, week
Yeah.
view. So click week view, and then that'll give you your weekly averages for the sodium and the fiber. Okay.
Awesome. And then the exercise goals that are on this, are those?
That is just your cardio. So the workouts that Sarah or Sonia has for you are your weight training exercises. So definitely do those. And then the cardio are just suggestions that I give you for heart health purposes and helps give you a little bit more of a calorie deficit to burn some more calories. So you can do whatever you want for your cardio. It can even just be a walk, like a fast-paced walk. It could be a bike. It could be elliptical, Stairmaster, whatever. But that is in addition to your weights. If it ends up being like way too much for you, you're like, I can't commit an hour or an hour and a half to workouts, let us know and we'll help you adjust things. But those are in addition to your weight workouts. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you.
And like Michael, since I have you for both, what you're seeing in the AK Fit app matches up with what you have in your trainer eyes. So,
Wonderful.
yeah.
That's
Okay.
all for me.
Yay. If you guys think of anything else, reach out. We're here for you. Okay.
For sure.
Excited to get started with you guys.
Yes. Remember
We are too.
Monday, send your starting stats. So we need weight, measurements, and pictures again on Monday. Just fill it out, the check-in form on the AK Fitness app. You don't need to answer anything else, just those, so we can have starting stats for Monday. And then you can do your first check-in that week, or if you would like to wait till the next week, you can do that too, but it's probably best to just get into the habit of doing it on your check-in day. So go ahead and fill out as much as you can for your assigned check-in day next week as well.
Yeah,
Awesome.
awesome.
And with that, Frankie
Thank
says,
you
great.
guys.
Thank you.
Very
Yes,
welcome.
welcome. See ya. Chat soon. Bye.
Bye-bye. Have a great day.
You guys too.